Welcome everyone to Token Topics. I hope everybody's doing well. The World Economic Forum, Ripple, and Stellar are the topics. We're going to dive into a new document from the World Economic Forum that shows how large cross-border payments is and how large it's expected to become, and how important interoperability and getting regulations and frameworks in place. It's very important. Two blockchain companies that specialize in cross-border payments has the attention of the World Economic Forum, and that is Ripple and Stellar. So in this video, we're going to focus on Ripple and Stellar specifically and what the future landscape looks like and tips on how to get regulations in place. If you're a Ripple or Stellar fan, you don't want to miss the video. Please watch all the way to the end. I'm not paid for or sponsored by Ripple or Stellar. With that out of the way, let's dive in. Keep your crypto safe with a DCENT biometric hardware wallet. With talks about cyber attacks or exchanges going down, it's imperative to keep your assets safe. And just know with DCENT, your private keys are your private keys and only you have access to them. In the description below, I'm going to put affiliate links where you can receive $30 off the retail price. There's also a 2-wallet package deal that's a great value. There's no need to wait. Order your wallet and keep your crypto safe now. All right, let's dive into this awesome document from the World Economic Forum, Unlocking Interoperability, Overcoming Regulatory Frictions in Cross-Border Payments. Now, we've heard from brilliant minds like David Schwartz, Brad Garlinghouse, just to name a couple, that interoperability is key. Without it, you're back to square one where, you're back to a siloed world. Things have to interoperate. They need to connect. They need to work together. You have all these different blockchains. Then you have all these different legacy systems as well. Not every system is the same. So there's a lot to connect. So that's why interoperability is very important. But we're going to get to the point where a lot of these old legacy systems, they're basically on a crutch right now. We're going to be using those same old legacy systems in with the new technology, but eventually a lot of that's going to end up getting phased out. Everything is about to evolve. We're so brand new to this space that we're only seeing a glimpse of how it's unfolding. For example, the internet. When the internet first came out, it was just basic dial-up, Look at all the use cases that have come out of the internet, including the internet of value. So we're going to see this landscape evolve, but interoperability is key as far as moving this digital economy forward. Everything is going to interoperate. All right, let's go into the introduction just to give people an idea of how big this is. So the value of cross-border payments is estimated to reach $250 trillion by 2027, representing an increase of more than $100 trillion in just 10 years. Factors driving such goods include an increase in cross-border digital trade flows, such as e-commerce, video streaming, games, apps, and remote learning. The widespread adoption of digital payments driven by fintech and large technology companies with global footprints, often referred to as big tech, that bring new and convenient services and broaden access to financial markets. The development of technology that increases the efficiency of cross-border payments. The value of global e-commerce sales is projected to exceed $10 trillion by 2027, with cross-border transactions expected to make up at least 27% of that amount. Global exports of digitally delivered services reached $3.8 trillion in 2022, representing more than half of the total global service exports. Cross-border trade of digitally delivered services has risen at an average annual rate of 8.1% since 2005, outpacing the growth rate of cross-border goods 5.6% and other services exports 4.2%. Increased cross-border digital trade promotes the growth of cross-border payments, at the same time boosts the demand for faster, cheaper, more secure, and more transparent payments, particularly for small value transactions, which have increased in both the value and frequency in the past years. Cross-border digital trade also creates different use cases that come with a variety of needs beyond cost, speed, access, and transparency. While trying to catch up with the demands of growing cross-border digital trade, the cross-border payments market has undergone a transformative shift with increasing participation of non-bank entities and cross-border payments ecosystem. Such non-bank entities include fintechs, firms, and big techs. I can name a few right off the bat. These innovative players have introduced groundbreaking approaches and increased competence. Now, we can get into blockchain technology. That document from the World Economic Forum gives us an idea of how large cross-border payments is and how important it is for the development of the future. So what has the attention of the World Economic Forum? Stellar and Ripple. Those two blockchains specifically designed for cross-border payments and a lot more have the attention of the World Economic Forum. All right, so this is Stellar, and here we have Ripple. Great, so this gives us an idea of how big this is and how big it's going to get, what it's going to grow to. So check this out. The international mobility of goods, services, capital, and people, coupled with increased digitization of cross-border trade, has increased the economic importance of cross-border payments. That brings us to these vital technologies. The Bank of England, which is a Ripple partner, commissioned research by Boston Consulting Group that estimates that the value of cross-border payments in 2017 at 150 trillion and predicts that it will surpass 250 trillion by 2027. All right, I'm going to jump to number 4, unlocking regulatory interoperability. As transactions and economies become increasingly interlinked, regulators must enhance cross-border payment interoperability to ensure trade competitiveness and economic growth. To assess the potential recommendations to address regulatory frictions identified through the multi-stakeholder process, the experts involved propose a criteria outlined in Table 1. So every country has its own unique culture, history, political, regulatory environment. And with different level of economic and financial market development, it is important to consider those country-specific characteristics in promoting regulatory interoperability for cross-border payments. So I want to stop right there. So it's not just cookie cutter. There is a lot to this. The multi-stakeholder survey conducted for this paper revealed the following 4 key recommendations to address regulatory frictions and the factors driving those frictions identified earlier. Those recommendations also provide enough flexibility for country-specific laws and regulations. All right, so how do we move forward with this? Well, one way is to make improving cross-border payment interoperability a key policy objective. Historically, domestic financial stability and market integrity have been top priorities for financial regulators, taking precedence over cross-border payment interoperability. In a world where transactions and economies are becoming increasingly interlinked, enhancing cross-border payment interoperability is becoming more and more important for regulators to ensure competitiveness in trade and economic growth. The G20 is paving the way for this transition by identifying that enhancing cross-border payments is a key policy priority, demonstrating the urgent need for regulatory reform and improved holistic national policy that considers cross-border payment interoperability is needed as an integral part of the country's payments policy agenda. Achieving this requires the development and promotion of several key strategies. Now, before I go into this strategy, excellent how it's highlighting right here, the G20 is paving the way for this transition by identifying that enhancing cross-border payments is a key policy priority. So we know that cross-border payments is a key priority, but also this all connects with digital assets and cryptocurrency through this whole new digital economy. I want to show you how serious the G20 is taking this. Check this article out from not long ago. G20 moves forward with international crypto framework. Leaders of the 20 biggest economies in the world, collectively known as G20, are pushing for a speedy implementation of cross-border framework for crypto assets. According to local reports in New Delhi, where the group members are attending a 2-day summit, the framework will facilitate information exchange between countries beginning in 2027. All right, going back to this. So several key strategies for moving this forward, to put it simple, include enhancing cross-border payments and regulatory mandates, promote regulatory impact assessments on cross-border payments, Establish a holistic national interoperability policy. Read through all of this. I'm going to put it in the description. Strengthen regulatory cooperation for cross-border payments. Strengthen existing regional and international organizations for regulatory coordination and alignment at the global level. Encourage regulatory sandboxes or innovation hubs for cross-border payments. Enhance cross-border regulatory cooperation and coordination. So, skipping forward here. Regulatory governance design for a multilateral platform for cross-border payments. Multilateral platforms for cross-border payments are more common and better known than may be realized. Visa and MasterCard have been in existence for years, with many entities participating in their networks across several jurisdictions. There are also several wholesale and retail multilateral platforms run by regional intergovernmental organizations, varying legal protection for important concepts such as settlement finality, additional regulatory requirements on foreign operators, market entry barriers such as controls on foreign direct investments, and data localization requirements are all legal barriers to the successful operation of a multilateral platform. Now, before I move into the next part, keep in mind that they're giving an example here. I already showed you that the World Economic Forum already recognizes Ripple and they already recognize Stellar. I guarantee you that they know about Ripple's liquidity hub, the XRP ledger, they know about Corda, they know about the Zinfin network. I'm sure they know about a lot of these different blockchains. But remember, it goes back to what? Interoperability. So despite the regulatory challenges these platforms face, their governance models can set examples of regulatory coordination for a global level. Multilateral platform for cross-border payments, Project Nexus, run by the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub, Singapore Center experiments with building a global-scale project that links existing fast payment systems from multiple jurisdictions using APIs in a hub and spoke manner. Its proposal includes a Nexus Scheme Organization, or NSO, with decisions about the scheme made by the NSO board and payment network operators, usually central banks, and other relevant supervisor bodies from a joint oversight forum to ensure that the operation of the network does not pose any financial risk and to coordinate regulatory divergence. Project Nexus revealed that inconsistent or conflicting regulatory requirements are among the key challenges encountered when operating such a network. As its next step, the team will conduct further work to map out any incompatibilities between regulatory regimes and explore how Nexus can accommodate all of these differences. Also, remove regulatory barriers to accessing domestic payment systems. Potential impacts of modernizing regulatory frameworks. You have the effectiveness, the safety, and equity. You can encourage public and private partnerships, which is extremely important. So the conclusion is enhanced regulatory interoperability is crucial for efficient and safe cross-border payments as demand for such payment is expanding rapidly, outpacing regulators' ability to establish suitable regulatory frameworks. So the process of developing this white paper involved a diverse range of jurisdictions with financial markets at different levels of development and a broad base of PSPs ranging from international banks to small startups and a wide variety of technology providers. Well, everybody, that's all I have for the video. If you did enjoy the content, please do consider subscribing so you can stay up to date.